Welcome to another amazing day at fmtraining.tv. My name is Margaret. I'll be your broadcast engineer for today. I'm here with the wonderful Nick Hunter, who's having video issues, so you just gotta imagine Nick Hunter hanging around over here in this corner over here, but Nick is with us today. He is a really fantastic senior engineer who knows basically all there is to know about manipulating a FileMaker to his will, which we are lucky to have sessions on. So, speaking of sessions, let's look at our schedule. We have our build extreme reports with FileMaker day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7. So this week, Friday is going to be importing, extracting, exporting a folder of files in FileMaker with JRay. And then Monday will be webhooks and FileMaker at the MBS plugin. Christian has some interesting stuff souped up for that, so feel free to drop by for that one. Also, happy MLK Day. Totally forgot that was a holiday. My bad. When I was scheduling. So, but hope you guys are having a good holiday. Yeah. If you'd like to support the channel, you'd greatly appreciate it. You got the FM Training annual subscription bundle. It's 100 plus hours of high energy video training. Basically, Richard's a presenter, Nick's a presenter, Jay Ray's a presenter, Jacob's a presenter. It pretty much covers everything you need to know to like do FileMaker in your own right, or to fill in gaps in your knowledge. If you're like, hey, I know all about scripts and relationships, but I know nothing about server. This would be a good thing to pick up. We've got a whole series on server, for example, on WebDirect and Cloud. With that all being said, Nick, what are we doing today?
Hello, Marge. How are you today?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing good. How was your weekend?
It was good.
Good.
Yeah, pretty much worked my weekend actually. But hey, but now I'm all caught up on all the live stream stuff, so it worked out.
Okay, cool. So mine was cool too. So what are we doing today? So today we do, it was it the fourth day? The fourth day of
Today is day 4. Yep.
Yeah, day 4. So I crushed a little bit on the first 3 days. So we are 1 day, in advance in the schedule. So, but it's hard to schedule something that large, So
yeah, it kind of goes the way it goes.
Yeah, I answer a question that people are asking, so I pretty much answered what I wanted to do today. So, but it's okay. We just have more time to talk about things. So today we continue the creation of the reporting, right? So when I say reporting, it's not reports, like I said, like a PDF report with sub-summaries and stuff like that. No, we don't do that. We do a report, or a custom report that we are going to export to Excel. That's pretty much we going to build our Excel spreadsheet, right? So, and we want many things. So let me show. So what I'm talking about Excel spreadsheet. So we are going to build something like this. So we have we have a title, right? And then we have their custom column titles. So this is the report title. We have the custom column title here. We have all the data, right, that we import from FileMaker, that we export from FileMaker, sorry. And then here we have a total. Okay, so the total is coming from FileMaker. This is not something I built with the spreadsheet here, right? So we know that FileMaker, when we save or report as Excel, right? When we use this, save as Excel, right? Save as Excel. We pretty much export their field names as column title, right? But we don't do that. We don't want that because we want to have custom titles. We don't want to rename the fields and stuff like that. And in that case, it is an obligation to have this custom column title because we are not going to export directly from the table where the data lives, right? We're going to create a dedicated table for that because we are going to build this type of report, and we are going to build this type of report where we have the same title, column title, the data, right? And then here we have a total, right? And then here we have another report built in this spreadsheet and with something else coming from a different table. So you see here we have our two report in one, and this is something that we cannot do. We just save as Excel stuff, right? So, and this is totally completely automatic, right? So this is what we are going to learn today. How to build. First, we are going to build this one that is, easier, right? And then we're going to build the other one. Okay. So to do something like this, as I said, we're going to use what we call a virtual list. So what is a virtual list? It's not really a virtual list. Let's say we're going to use a temporary table, right? Where we're going to pretty much import data from the table we want the data from. And that's why, so today everything will make sense about what I explained last week. Because if I didn't have last week, nobody will understand anything what's going on today. We're going to use everything we learned last week to do this. So as I said, we have two tables, okay? The first table we have what I call the columns title, okay? So we have multiple reports. We don't have only one. Here I have 4 examples, but we are going to use 2 today. And so for each report, we have custom titles. So we have a table with the column A to Z. And if you need more, you can say A, B, A, C, okay? You can go, build as many columns you want, but, so far going to Z is kind of a big, large, it's a big, large report, right? So we need this in order to put there the titles, right? So let me show you how it looks. So we have this. So we have the column titles for each report. So I have the courses, the teachers, the categories, and the classrooms. Okay. So for each report in the column A, for the course report, I want the column A to be course name, the column B to be course course number, the classroom, and the number of teacher. And for teachers, I want the column A to be first, last, categories, course number, and course name. And here you understand category, I want category and number of teachers. And here I want the name of the classrooms, location, the capacity, and stuff like that. So you see here for each report, the column A, the column B, C, D to Z will receive a different name. Okay. So that's the first table. Okay. Then we have another table where we're going to, it's pretty much a duplication of the first table, right? Because if we have from A to Z here, I need here from A to Z where the actual data will land. Okay, the data will land here. And we're going to use smart way to first get the column titles, and then the data accordingly to the letter of the column. Okay, so here, so pretty much what we want to do. So let's close this to here. Okay, I want to generate a report. So here I have a report selector. Okay, and so I have multiple reports. I have the course, the teacher, the category, and the classroom. Okay, so let's take the course first. So when I click here, I have, of course, this technique of the card style window that I explained last week. So now you understand why everything. So in no time, right, we got the course test 1. Okay. So this is the course test 1. So if I open it, course test one. This is what I get. So I get my spreadsheet here, right? So of course, if I click here and I say teacher, it's the same scripts, the same table, everything's the same, but the data different, the column different, and we have some options here, okay? So this is a teachers test one, okay? So if I open it, I open this, boom. This is the teacher, and at the bottom, accordingly to the teachers, I want to know how many teachers I have in administration, external, interim, so we need something like this, right? So, so let's start. So we learn we need two tables. First table where we have titles, the second table where we are going to import the actual data from their according tables, right? So first, let's see the course one. So we have one report here, right? And this is a section that we use for the course, okay? Don't look at this one for now. Okay, this one deactivate. Okay, so we don't look at this one. We look at this one, okay? So what we do here, the first, right? We are going to receive, okay, the ID of the script of the report I want to create, because we have here, I have in the column title here, in this table here, I have for each one, I have a title, column title ID, okay? So I have an ID for each of them. So when I'm clicking here and I'm clicking here, I'm getting, right? I'm getting the title, the ID of that course, right? And then, I can retrieve with this, with a relationship, right, to itself, right? I can retrieve the current report I want to import. That means I need to do that. Why? I'm going to use import to import the record, one record, okay? To import the record from that table where I'm here, I'm in here. I'm going to use, I need to isolate that record, right? In order that when I'm going to import that record, I want to make sure that I have only one record. I don't want to have all of them. I don't want to have all the four. I want to have this one only. So this is why I'm doing this. I'm setting a global field with the ID of that here, of that record, which is the record of the column title for courses. Here I'm pointing in the column title table, right? That CalStar window, right? I am in the two, get layout tab. I am in the 200 column titles. So here I am in the column titles or table. I'm showing, I built this nice CalStar window, but that record is where is the record where in the table where we have all the column title. So with that go-to record, I'm going to isolate that record. So I have one record now. See, I have only one record, this one. This is the only one I want. Then from here, I'm going to another CalStar window that points to the table where I want to import that record, right? So I want to, so I am now I am in the 200, the T200 context. I am in the column title right now. But now, so I did that, I isolate my record, and now I am not anymore in there, in that one. I am now in the 201 context. So I am where I want to import the column title, and it's one record. So let's do it. So here I have a if step to say, okay, if I am in course, I want that to happen. If I'm in teacher, I want that to happen, right? So I am in course, so it will say yes, okay, pattern counts in my list of reports. I have course here because that's the one I clicked. And then I said, okay, in that case, since I am in course, I want the title of the report to be course. I want the message here, okay, to, yeah, I don't know why I say that, but it's okay, never mind. Oh yeah, I need this, no? Yeah. So I want that to be, generate course report. So I have a message that's show me this, generate course report, right? Then I create a new record, okay? And I'm setting the first row. You remember the first row? The first row was this. I want the first row to be the course name, the report name, the report title, right? So that's why I'm setting a new record. I'm setting the field on the column A, the field column A of the first record. I want the report name. So I want this column A, first record. I want the course, right? Then what I'm doing, I have an import. I'm importing. Sorry, I clicked. I'm importing the column titles right now. So if I stop this, right, what do I get right now? I got this. I got a record with the column A, the name of the report, and I imported from the column title table the unique record that I had selected, right? And in column A, B, C, and D, I imported the data that are in each of those fields, right? I imported them. So if I go there, if I show you the column title, right? So I was in this course, right? I have in this report, so column A, B, C, and D. So if I show you the import script step, right? So yeah, I don't know why you do this, but but anyway, I'm importing all what I need. So the column A to the column Z, I'm importing everything because maybe I will have more, but for now, I'm importing, I have data on here, 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 and here, right? See, I have first, so this is what I have. This is the data I have on that record. I have 4 records. This is a record for the class. So I have a course name, okay. In column A, I'm putting course name. In column B, I'm doing the course number in classroom. Column C, in column D, the number of teacher. So I imported that record. Okay, so that's what this is doing. Okay, this import script step, right? So let's delete all and do it again. So I'm opening this. I click here and I say, so far we understand that, right? So now so now what do I do? Okay. I want to import, right, the data that are in the course table. So I'm going to import those 17 records here, right? I'm going to import them in the same table. So that means I'm going to add Okay, so let's do something different. Let's do something different because those CalStar window looks good, but we can do something different. Let's show the actual data. Okay, so let's duplicate this, deactivate, and let's show this is the same, but we will see what happened, by the way. Okay. So click here, click course, and then instead of showing you the car style, I'm showing you the data, right? So I'm creating my new record. I'm setting the report name. I import the record, of course. So now I have imported. So I have two records now, right? Okay. And now I am going to import the course data. So I'm importing the data that are here in that table in the same table. So one record for the report name, I import the record with all the fields for the titles. I import the data. And then here I have a nice script step because I want to add rows, empty rows, to separate. So I have this add row. I said, okay, I want 2 rows. So it's going to do that twice. Right? It's to avoid to have new, you know what I mean? Right? So you have one script step and I say, okay, I want 2. I want 2 rows. Okay. Then I'm setting this field here with the title I want to put there. I want the total of teachers. And then this is where it starts to be interesting. Okay. Remember? Remember. No, you don't know because let me stop this and show all and delete and close. I have here for each course, I have a number of teachers. 12 here, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Right? So I have for each course, I have how many teachers I have for that course. So, but here in that table, I have a summary field. Okay. Not this one. Summary field. It's the total of the number of teachers. That means for the 17 course, how many teachers I have in total, right? That's what I want to know. Okay. So it's the total of the number of teachers. So, but we know that summary fields are not exportable in Excel. Don't ask me why, but it's not exportable in Excel. So we need to replicate the summary field in another way. In that table here, the table where I'm receiving all the data, right? I don't know where I'm going to put. I'm going to elect a field, and here it's the column D, right? And the column D at the end of my report, that means you understand how it works. I'm going to the table, I'm creating a new record, I'm setting the report name in the column A, I'm importing another record that is a column title, I'm importing the 17 records. That means right now I have a total of 19 records. This one plus 17. Okay. Then I'm adding 2 rows. That means 2 records empty in FileMaker. And then on that 21st record, that means this one plus this one plus this one plus those 2. In the field column C, I'm going to put the total, this title, and in the field column D, I'm going to replicate what the summary is doing, right? But I am in another table, so I need to calculate that based on the relationship because I am on export records. I'm not on course. To do so, to make sure that I have the number of records, that means I have the number of teacher that goes, I am populating a list of IDs. That means here in that table, for each course here, I have an ID, I have a parent key. So when I click generate here, I have this variable that comes from course, and I put a global variable with all the ID I have here. So that means here, this global variable have the 17 IDs of those courses, right? You can see the first one, 0, the 7 one, see this one, the 7 one, 0B, okay, this one, see? So this one, the 7 one, see, is here. So we have all the 17 IDs. In that table, in the 201, I have a relationship, right? I'm in 201, I'm here, I'm in that table. I have a relationship to course based on a global field where I'm going to put all the IDs that comes from the list, the original list of course. And then I'm linking that from that list here, I'm linking to the course table. And then I have a very simple sum of number of teachers based on that relationship. So of course, because it's based on the relationship that is giving me the related records based on that list of IDs, that will give me different numbers if I have more or less records, right? So it will do a sum, it will count, it will sum all the number of teachers. So it's going to do exactly like the summary field. It will be the same, right? So, right. So this is my favorite way to do that. We have another way, I know, or people are thinking that it's just I need to suck in the results of that summary field here. I know where you come from. I'm taking this and then I'm putting there, right? I could have done that too. It would have been simpler, but not as accurate. And I want to demonstrate how to do things like this, okay? How we can replicate a summary, right? The same, but into another table, right? So I don't want to interrupt myself right now, so we do the question later. When we reach that state, okay? When we reach that state, the report is pretty much done, okay? But you know how FileMaker import is working, okay? So let's do it again, FileMaker imports. So I'm going to course. I'm creating the record here, putting the name. I'm importing. When you import data, FileMaker automatically builds a found set, found set with the number of records that you just imported. So here now I have a total of 2 records, but I'm showing only 1. Oops. I'm only 1. Why? Is because I just import 1 record. And when I'm going to import the 17 record, now I have another found set. So I don't have all my records. 2 are omitted, right? Now I'm going to create my 2 records empty. And then I'm going to set the title and set what's the name? Set the summary, right? But now, what do I do with the other records that are omitted because it's missing the name of the report and the column title is missing from here. So if I export this now as Excel, if I save as Excel, those two records will be missing. But remember, we might be using that technique here on the server. So I will be like, we can be like 10 people doing this. So in that table, I could have next to my records, I can have records from other people creating their own reports, right? In the same table. So I cannot come here and say, oh, show all. Yeah, if you're alone in the world, you can say show all. But if you're not alone in the world, you want to retrieve all the records you just created, right? But only yours. You remember last week, I explained to use what we call the session ID technique. So now to retrieve this, at the beginning, I created, each time I'm generating a report, I have a UUID generated. I generate the UUID, okay? Generating this. And each record that I am going to create and going to import, so this record here, these records, and all the two records here, they all will receive in their session ID fields, they will receive the ID I put there. So I generate one ID unique for me. This is just from now. This ID is just available to me at that moment in that script. And then it will be forgiven. Okay. So, forgotten. Forgiven. Yeah. So, I'm setting a variable with the session ID. I'm creating a record with that ID. And then at the end, so where am I in my script? At the end, what do I do? Right? I go, so, I go to a layout, which is, the same layout. And I'm performing a restore, a find with the restore. And what this do? It perform a find of all the records of that table with the ID I just generated. So now I got all my records. And I don't need to sort. I don't need to do anything. Why? Because they will come as they were created, right? They will come as they were created. So, right? I don't need to take care of sorting. I create that first, and then that, and then I import those, because they were sorted at the beginning, right? And then I have my total, I have everything created. So now I'm ready to save as Excel. Saving this as Excel, so this is the course test 2, right? I'm saving as Excel. It's saved here, right? So now what can I do? Okay, I'm done. The report's done. Okay, delete that. That's it. It's done. Delete. You don't need that anymore. You export it, you create your report, you're done, right? And then you close the window and that's it. Your report has been created, saved, and you don't need the data anymore because it was just a temporary table to import the data from the table, the columns, the titles, right? And the course. Of course, if I have, let's say I have less record now, I have only 7 records. And I don't have 17 records anymore, I have 7 records. And I'm generating the same report. I have here the imports that import from the course table. I am in T01 table here. So you know how the import. That's why I was talking about import. Now everything makes sense. If you don't know about import, how you can understand that, right? I imported, right? I'm importing from T01 course, but FileMaker is made that way that I will now import the 7 records that are here. So when you are in a context and you limit and you have a font set, I'm going to import that font set, right? So now, I'm here. I can just continue, I can just generate my report, right? The course report. And what he's going to do is going to import my 7 records, right? And I'm going to do that, 7 records, okay? So now, if I look that report, I have only 7 records, when in this one, I had much more, right? And I have accordingly the teacher number, the name, the teacher, the total of teachers and stuff like that. So now you know that the import technique, and we are importing text, right? We are importing text, right? So the technique here is interesting because we can use all those columns here, all those columns here, and we can make them what we want. Okay. So if we have questions.
We do not at the moment, actually. So.
Oh, okay. So I was good. Oh, I lost everybody. So it depends. Did I lose you guys? Did I lose?
We got a question.
We have a question.
Explain why you want the report in Excel?
Because let's say you want to send to somebody that doesn't have FileMaker. I think in FM I can look better, but I understand that. But if you want to share that with, let's say I have my, accountant. She doesn't even know what FileMaker is, and she doesn't know that the world is living without Excel. You know that, right? So those people, they are with Excel. So after that, I have a customer recently. I did something like this, is sharing data from his FileMaker solution to the county authorities, to the county. And they don't even know what's something is. They don't know that something else than Excel exists in their computer. So and that's why that's why we export on Excel. And the PDF, they don't want them, because most of the time you want to export to Excel and just, do that, and people can look at it. It's not unusual to save as Excel from FileMaker. It's very, very common. I understand the other. We do the other way around. We import Excel spreadsheet and then we put that in FileMaker. But here the demo is how to generate reports, right? So how we have data in FileMaker and then you want to share to Excel. Okay. So now let's do. So let's keep this here. So let's do something a little bit more advanced. Okay. So here we are going to combine 2 reports in one. Okay, so we are going to import and we are going to generate a report, right, from 2 different tables, right? The first will come from the teacher table, and the other one will come from the teacher category table, right? So I have all the data done. All the data are calculated, and it's I know the number of teachers here. I know everything. So I want now to generate a report from here, right? I want to generate a teacher report, right? So I'm going to generate another type of report. I'm going to create the teacher report. So the teacher report, when you click here, we use exactly the same technique. So we have the session ID, then I can retrieve my data later on. I'm selecting which report I'm in. So I want the teacher's column titles, right? So that's why I'm selecting, this now is selecting the teacher record in my column title table. Okay. Then I'm going there, right? And I'm doing the same thing. So now I am in teacher. I'm setting the name of my report, right? Creating the new record. I'm setting the name of the report, teachers. I'm importing the column A, B, C, D, E from the column titles for that report. Okay. I'm actually importing the 200 records from the table. So I want the first name, last name, the category, the course name, the course numbers, and the course name, right? And then I'm going to create 2 records because I'm going to put total of teachers. And here, I'm going to put the number of the count, what's the name? The font count, but here I have a bug because I'm adding the 2 records. I should have said -2, so I forgot to, because I create 2 records here. So I want to demonstrate that since we are here, and there, we can just say, okay, how many records I have, because this is the total of teacher here is not the same as here. Here it was a summary field, and there, so I want to replicate a summary field. But here, I just need the font count, but I should have removed the 2 records that I create here. It's a bug. Okay, but you understand, it's not the end of the world. So now that I'm done with this. So now I'm going to create free empty record, because I need more space here. And then I'm going to do it again, right? I'm going to do it again with another report that I'm going to add to this one. Okay. So, but I need to retrieve the categories, and that is the ID, of the record in the column titles for the category report. So I'm setting a global in that table, right? With that ID, I have a relationship that lands to the category, selecting the category title record. So now this is selected in that table, in the table 200, it's selected. So I can go back there. Actually, I should have changed this one too. Let's go. Where to change this one to duplicates and going there. Then you can see. Okay. So let me show all, delete all, and let's do it again. Okay. So we were there. Okay. So let's do it again. So I click here, script debugger, and play. Okay, so we are here. Okay, import, boom, boom, boom. Okay, we're here, right? So now, right, I'm here. I'm setting the name of the report, right? That category. I'm creating a new record. I'm putting the name of the section in that spreadsheet, right? I'm importing the column title. I'm importing the data. And then, thanks to my ID that I have, the session ID, I can easily retrieve all the reports like I created. All the records I created with the category, the category titles, right? The column titles, the data, and now I can save to Excel. So, you know, uh, uh, test two, okay, and save it. So I delete all, and then now I can go there, and we see that I have my teacher two created, right? So same thing. If I have a system to retrieve information, like, let's omit some records, like, I'm going to omit pretty much the half of it, right? So let's say I have 90 records here in that table. So now I'm generating the report another time, right? It will be a very smaller report, right? Teacher. Okay. So that's a smaller report because I have less record. Okay. Oh no, it's the same. Oh, because I'm not in the same. Oh, but you understand, sorry for that. It's if you limit, because I wasn't starting from the same table, so it's my bad. It's okay. But if you build a system to retrieve, to limit your font set, you're going to limit your font set, like I did on course. I didn't test the one on teacher, but it's okay. So do we have any questions?
We do actually. So,
Okay.
if my report will have more columns, do I have to create the number of fields equal to the number of columns?
Yeah, you need to create the number of fields you need to fit the column, which is normal, right? If you have more, you need to create more columns, of course. Yeah.
Cool. Do you use the technique pivot for the export?
No, okay. The pivots report that will be later on. I'm going to show that. The pivot is the same technique I'm doing it here. We use the same technique. It's the same technique as this. I'm using the same technique to do this. The pivots. That when you have something vertical, I'm going to build this. Because this is just the beginning of a custom report, because we're going to have much more things going on. Now that we have this technique, that we start, playing with the records, the columns and stuff like that, the names. So now we are completely free. You understand that? That means we can do whatever we want. It's you set the field you want, and you put the title you want. You do pretty much what you want. Now that we are free, that's why we do this technique. That we have this table, because in this table we can do whatever we want. We can assign those columns to show whatever we want. We decide. What decides this is the inputs. I decide in the A what I want. Here, I want the A to be the first name, but in the other one, I want the A to be title, right? So it's different. So I can play. For example, here I show you that report here. I have this report here category starting in column A, right? But let's say I want to start. I want this. I want to move this. Let's say I want to move this. I want to move this here. I want to move this here. I want that to be there. Let's say I want it. Okay. So we can do it because we're free. So here I just say, okay, I don't want that to be in column A. I want that to be in column C. and that I want to be in column D, and that I want to be in column DE, and then course teacher, okay, course name. No, I want the, where am I? No, it's this record here. Yeah. So I want this to be on C and this to be on D. And then I don't want to import those, Let's say we don't want to import those because I have only, I don't need those. So let's don't import this. Okay. So I have this and this. This is what I want. I want C and D. Okay. The title. And now I'm going there. Yeah, I'm doing the same. I want this to be on C and this to be on D, right? So now I'm saving this and I'm generating the report again, When you don't show that, it's faster, right? Okay, so new. Okay, so here now you will see that report, the data are there. Yeah, okay, I can, I forgot to do this, but I could have done this too. Let's fix it. Let's fix it. Here, I'm saying I'm setting the field here. Where is the field? Here. I'm setting A. I don't want A. I want C with the report name. So let's do it again. So you move, pretty much you could replicate your, spreadsheet the way you want. That's why I like the way I'm naming the fields because, column A, B, because on Excel, that's what you have, It's column A, B, and row 1, 2, right? Okay, so here now I have a new report, and here you can see categories, boom, boom, and this everything is in the right column the way I want it. So pretty much now we can pretty much do whatever we want, right? We're not tied to, because if you export, so the difference, for example, if I say, if I'm here and I say save as Excel, okay, if I do this, okay, this is what I get. Okay, this is what I get. Actually, I don't know why. Yeah, so you get this because you have a kind of exported. Yeah, okay, yeah, my bad. Let's go there. Let's go there and export the course. I want to export this. Okay, so I want to export this, right? I want to export this as Excel. Okay. Oh, I did export. No, I want to save. Sorry for that. I save as Excel. Okay. So what do I get? I get something like this, right? So I have no control. I cannot say, oh, I want, you know what I mean? So when you save as Excel, you have no control. You cannot say, oh, I want the the name first, and then I want no, you have no control. It saves the way it is, right? So you can do this, if you don't want, when you're in table view like this, you can say, okay, I don't want this. So you can hide those, right? And say, okay, I want the title, the classroom, the course number, and the number of teacher, right? So course number, title, okay. So you can do this and then save as Excel. So that's the only control you have, right? You have no more control than this, right? So when you export as Excel, that's it. And is taking pretty much the name of the field, right? So that's what you get. Okay. But what I want is something more sophisticated than this, right? Because I want something, presentable. So, and I want something like this. right? So something with the name I want, positioned the way I want, right? I could have moved everything on the right. I could have added, for example, let's say, oh, I don't like this presentation. I want, for example, in this one, at the beginning, at the very beginning, uh, between this and this, I want I want a space between the report name and the data. So add a new record here, right? And then generating a new one, right? And you will see now I will have, you know, I will have an extra, boom, see, course, boom, bum. Okay. So it's so we lose some things doing this. Okay, we don't have we don't have the bold of this, right? But that's the only thing we lose. That we don't have automatic, because it's not the first row, right? This is not the first row, so it's not doing the bold kind of like this, right? But it takes, you know, when you export everything, if that's the only thing you need to do in Excel to make it look, you know, this is not a big deal. Yes, I know those, right, are not numbers. Okay, I know that. But that's a way to do that. That's a way to, I'm going to explain that later. But for now, I just want to keep simple, right? So I think everybody got it. Did you get it, or people?
We got questions. How to get the title of the columns?
How you?
How do you get the title of the columns?
I just explained at the beginning. So, so I have a table. Explain again, right? I build a table. So let me show you where I have records. For each report I'm selecting, I have a set of records. So for example, for course, I want the column A to be this and this and this. For teacher, this and this and this and this, and category this and this. Okay. And then I'm selecting the record I want for each report I'm generating, and I'm importing that record in the other table. So I'm importing, you know, that's why I have to import title, data, right? Title, data. Title, data. So I'm importing from the table. Here I'm importing from the title table, and then I'm going to import that from teacher. Here import from the title table, and then I'm importing from course. And then I'm putting, you know, the data in the column I want, right? So that's cool. That is so, and that being said, so do we have another question?
Yes. Is it
Okay.
possible to trigger an Excel macro within FileMaker?
Yeah, it is possible, but it's a pain in where you know.
Follow-up, a different question. The bottom of the teacher's report shows a summary of categories. I missed where the summarization occurs. Does it occur in the source file or in the record script?
In there, okay, that I do, you know, it's a demo file, right? It's a demo, right? It's not, everything is not perfect, right? But I have a table where I have the total made. When I import the teachers, right? When I import the teacher, for example, here I have 200 teachers, okay? 200. And in my category here, it shows he spread how many I have on administration, 22. So I have a calculation happening there, right? So I have a calculation happening on there. So I have 27, 22, 36. Let's say I'm importing 200 more. Pretty much the same, but I'm importing 200 more, right? So if I go to my category here, everything doubled because so it's when you so in my demo, it could have been different, right? It could have been different. You can do it. I'm going to explain. That will be later this week or maybe next week. I'm going to explain how we do that in the script itself. That the script will calculate that on the fly. Okay, it will calculate that on the fly based on the relationship. So that's why we have that. That's why I like this technique, because we can mix, and that was a demo. We mix multiple techniques in one. We use the import to import the basic data. You know, the dead, what I call the dead data. So, I mean, when I say dead is something you type, you know, like this is a dead data. Okay, I type. Okay, level 4 is typed, is dead. Then we have a live data, which is a number of teachers and the summary fields. This is live because it can change based on the font set, based on whatever, right? So we import the dead data with the import technique, and then we have the live data, and we update the field we want, based on the calculation we want, right? And we can have a huge sophistication here. I'm going to later next week. I'm going to show you. So you will get it or you don't get it. I don't know, but how we can even get those calculation to be completely independent and free from the scripts. And that would be very interesting to see. And independent from the data and independent from the script as well. So it's completely free. So that means we can have a different calculation for the same field, the same scripts, without modifying the script definition, without modifying the scripts. Yes, it is possible. So, but that later, because I wanted to stay in this presentation here. So, of course, tomorrow, I'm going to show you how we do that on server, because so far, right, I have done that locally. That means I've done that on the client. I didn't do that on the server. So that means if you have a large, sometime, I have I have one report in mind where we have like 4,000, 5,000 rows, an Excel report with a lot of rows, right? Can take a lot of time, right? That's Scott's Kane. Don't know if he's in online, but we have a lot of rows. You don't have to, but you have a large. He's using this technique a lot for this reporting. So, and it was taking some time, like 5-6 minutes or something to generate, and I made it like instant, So because we can do all of this on server, because we don't do anything crazy, right? We don't, right? So that's why when you do on server, the only difference that you need to export and import, right? So, but it's not that complicated. Because I explained to you last week how we do that, right? How we do the post-processing on server, how we import on server, right? Remember? So, import data from server. So, all of this, just watch the webinar from last week, and you will learn how to do that, right? So, but this technique here, if you have a very complex Excel spreadsheet to generate. I have another example of a complicated report on Excel, because you need to know that FileMaker, like it's an organization. It's a city, okay? It's a city. So you have one department on the city, only one department. You have 120 people out of 32,000 employees, you have 120 people that are using FileMaker, right? And they need to share information with everybody. So no, unfortunately, they didn't install FileMaker for 32,000 employees, right? So they need to have a report with Excel, okay? And that's what we're going to learn this week, next week. I can give you a sneak peek. They have a report, right, with completely unpredictable columns. So what that means, unpredictable columns? That means that, let's do the teacher here. That means that they can have first name, last name, and then we can have some, depending on their selection, they can have 2 additional columns here. And then that means that those columns will move, those columns here will move on E and F because I have 2 additional. So this will move to the right, right? But this is not, it is totally unpredictable. So, and then we have another group of columns after that. So we have a fixed group of columns. Then we have a group of unpredictable number of columns, can be 0, 1, 10, 2, 5, we don't know. And then we have another group of predictable columns. But the one on the right need to move after the unpredictable number of columns. So that's why this technique here is cool, because we can manage this. Okay, so with this technique here. So so if we don't have any other questions,
We do have some questions. We got 2
okay.
more.
Okay.
While the other reports show how to do more complex data manipulation prior to outputting the report. Prior to outputting to the report, excuse me.
Yeah, can you repeat?
I'll repeat that. Well, the other reports show how to do more complex data manipulation prior to outputting to the report.
The other reports, I mean, the other webinars, that's what you mean, right? Show how to do more complex, yeah, because that's why I don't understand. Do more complex data manipulation prior to output of the report. Yeah, I mean, the prior data manipulation is based on whatever you want to do in FileMaker, right? So do whatever you want to do in and you import that in the temporary table, right? So yeah, but if you refer to this type of manipulation here, this type here, yeah, we're going to have more, yeah. But most of the time, they are totals, right? 99% of the time they are totals. So totals and numbers of records, right? So like I do this, right? Like I do here, number of records and their some summaries. But what will be very interesting to see, that will be next week. It's how we build, first of all, how we build a report in FileMaker only based on summary, with no data, just summary. That's possible, and how we export that in Excel. Because imagine that you have a layout, you have only summary fields, and how you can export this, right? And I added a complexity because it will be a summary field sorted by in sub-summary in a list view. So that will be interesting for you, because you said, more complex processing. Yeah, that definitely will be more, I mean, when you build a list view, like this, and you have no body, and you have only, right, a subsummary by classroom, for example, and then you have the classroom, and you have only the summary, right? And you do this. So let's show the 17, and you do this. How you export that on Excel? There's no body. When I say nobody, I don't want to say there's nobody. That says there's no body in the list. I have only sub-summary. How you export it? If I say export this, I have 0. Nada. If I do this, I move, move all. I have, if I move only these two, move. I have nothing. Oh, it's a tab. Each time I do exports. Oh, I'm paused. Sorry, guys. Sorry. So, yeah, so what I was showing is this. You have a layout with a list, and you have a sub-summary. It's a list view. You have sub-summaries here, based on whatever you want, in Classroom, for example. And you have a summary field. And this is a sub-summary sorted by Classroom. You have no body in the list, in the layout. There's only the sub-summary. So this is fine with FileMaker. When you see that you have the summary happening, because I'm sorting by classroom, so the sub-summary sorted by classroom works. But if I export that as Excel, like I just did, right? That's what I get. Right? I get nada because I have nothing to export. Because we cannot export sub-summaries, and we cannot export summaries as well. So, so how I can export that on Excel? So that we're going to learn. And how I go, what I mean? So, and that is something we're going to do, pivots, how we pivot this, we have plenty of stuff to see. Yeah. Yeah, you're going to, so Canberra said, are we going to get the demo file? Yes, at the end, when the webinar will be done, because I'm going to modify this file every day. So when they're, and that's why I'm building clean, doing clean stuff, Up, off. Well, I click this button. Okay, never mind. So, other question?
I can do one more before I have to go.
Yeah.
Will we eventually see how to add multiple reports as individual sheets in the same Excel workbook?
No, it's not possible. Unfortunately, we cannot do that.
Well,
the answer is no.
Sorry, Brotherman.
No, it could have been good. I saw somebody has a technique for that. It was weird, but everything possible. But right now, as save as Excel like this, we don't have this ability. We don't. We have only this. We can name the worksheet, but we cannot add we don't have append. We don't have the append like we have on PDF, right? PDF we can append data. That means we can add additional in the same field, the same file. With Excel we cannot. So yeah, that's you have the Monkey Bread, right? You have a plugin for that? Yeah, I'm not using plugins, so I have no way to. But so far, I never need it. So, but Stu Monkey Bread is doing it.
Yeah, I'm sure. He said, I'm sure it does. Which, to be fair, it probably does. We only got like 6,000.
Okay. Yeah. One day I need to open that. I need to. I never. like I said, we had a discussion with the boss one day. So, I'm feeling the pain since so long. I don't feel it anymore. The FileMaker pain. So I don't use the monkey bread. I should install it and see how it works. Okay, so are we good?
We are good, and I have a meeting very shortly, so
Okay,
I gotta go.
so-
Thank you very much, Nick. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. So see you tomorrow, guys.
Yep, see you more tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Got a report of an individual up here who may be a FileMaker license. Well, it's potentially expired. Look at the back of that car right there. Looks like the FileMaker license has expired. Sir, I need you to step out of the vehicle. Sir, step out of the vehicle. Sir!